Like 30 minutes of cutting on this damn thing. Glad I wasn't trying to do this by hand. There we go. All right, that's a big old slug of aluminum. Well, my 3-jaw chuck is too small to grip this 5-inch piece, so I've got to do something that I don't want to do, and that's change the chuck out for my 4-jaw, which I haven't used this thing in a long time. It's not that bad of a process. I'm just kind of lazy, to be honest with you. But realistically, it's the best way to really dial something in. I just, for most of my purpose with the lathe, a 3-jaw up. When getting your 4-jaw going, you can kind of use these lines as references, just to get your stuff kind of concentric. Holy crap, that was a lucky guess. Yeah, that's fairly close. Get you guys in here a little bit. Big old chips here. Not ridiculous or anything, but really good size. Okay, we're gonna get our part centered in the 4-jaw chuck. First thing I did was visually center the piece in there, and then I labeled 1 through 4. So each jaw has its own dedicated number. All right, now you just basically pick somewhere. So I'm going to start with the dial indicator on 1. And you're going to set your dial indicator to 0. So you see it's resting right on the 0. And then I'm going to move it 180 degrees so the dial indicator's on 3. And I'm going to watch the needle as it goes. Okay, so the needle crept up to 20 thousandths. Or 19 thousandths, close enough. However far that travels, you need to adjust half of that distance because you're basically splitting the difference between the two of them. So I'm going to look at this again. So between the 1 and the 3, when I rotate it towards the 3 is about 20 thousandths deeper than the 1. So what I'm going to do then is loosen up the 3. Hold on a second. Maybe I'm getting this twisted. Let's see. So it's going towards the 3. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to loosen up the 1 because that's the direction it's going to need to go towards. I'm just loosening it up, basically taking the tension off it because 10 thousandths isn't much adjustment. And I'm going to tighten up the 3. So, all right, moving back to the 1, center my dial indicator. All right, I'm right on 0. I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees, and that went the wrong way. Okay, so let's review this really quick. So between 1 and 3, we lost about 23 thousandths. So, that means it needs to move towards the 3. And we need to loosen up the 3 then. And snug up the 1. Okay. Okay. Now let's check it again between the 1 and the 3. So we're zeroed on the 3, rotate it towards the 1, and damn, that was it. We're still on 0, so we're good. Now, we don't snug that up any more than it is. Now we got to go between the 2 and the 4. So between the 2, we're going to 0 our indicator, and then rotate it 180 degrees, so the 4 is being measured. Okay, and we climbed about 7 thousandths. So what needs to happen here is we need to we basically need to snug up on the 4. So in order to get movement, we're going to have to release 2 just a hair, which it actually already was loose. So we just need to snug up 4 a little bit. Not much, because if it's 7 thousandths, you need to move about 3.5 thousandths. And you'll see as you're tightening up the needle moving. So now with that little adjustment, I'm going to reset on the 1. We're on 0. Rotate towards the 4. And we lost 2 thousandths of an inch going there. Real close now. So let's see. We need to push the 2 jaw towards the 4 jaw a little bit. I can probably do that just by snugging up on the 2. I'm going to do that and adjust. So I saw it move 1/1000th of an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and 0 that. See if we can get a better view here. Bear with me here, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to move the 4 jaw around. All right, we are within. We're close. We're very, very close. So now I'm basically just going to be snugging the 2 and the 4 up. And I see transitioning over the 3 that we're losing about 1 thou. See, climbing there. I'm going to snug up on the 2 a hair. You can tell it's a hair high. All right, so now I'm going to 0 on 4, which it is. Move it to the 2. All right, we're splitting. I mean, we're like 2 10,000ths off. That's good enough for right now. Now let's take a look at the 3 again. All right, moved it to the 3. I'm going to 0. Actually, I'm going to leave it right there and go to the 1. Check that. So we're about 1 thou shy of 0. Moving it over to the 1. We're about the same. So doesn't. Well, shit. You know what? That's got to be good enough for what we're up to here. We're not making airplane parts. There's no chip breaker ground into this tool, so that's why we're getting long stringy chips coming off. Right now I'm creating a chip breaker with my tool. Cool. So, let's take a look at this. That's the deal. So, nice good finish. Not perfect. Not perfect. But, should probably polish this with a quick stone to get a better finish. But, anyway, that's the nice facing operation. We can now... We're centered, so we can start boring, and we'll have concentric placement of that boring bar, nice and centered there. But anyway, it's been, you know what, it's been probably 3 years since I've had to use this 4-jaw chuck. I don't use it, I hardly ever have to use it, but I wanted to do this on here instead of using the milling machine, because most of you guys already, you know, would know how to chuck this up in your vise. And one way you could do that and hold it straight up and down would be to use some V-blocks on either side. But my vise is actually only able to open up to about 6 inches, and this is a 5-inch diameter, so I wouldn't have room for those V-blocks. So this would actually be the best way to do it in my shop for this. So anyway, now I've got to brainstorm what I want to do. I'm gonna have to flip this turd around and face off the other side, and I'm debating on doing that now or later. If I really wanted to get nuts, I could make all of the holes for this thing on here. I might not have quite enough travel, but you don't have to just have centered holes. You can offset with your 4-jaw chuck, and actually I could stick the faceplate on there and do it with some clamps. Maybe I'll do that just to do something different, but I could show you guys how to do these holes. Depending on how much time I have and everything, I might do that, because it'd be a good practice for me. But you can do some cool operations with a faceplate on a lathe that you might not know about, which really opens up your world if that's all you have. Because if you wanted to drill a hole right here, all you'd have to do is reposition this piece of work over, and then you center on that guy right there, and you just have to position it properly. And you can do that with a surface plate, and then you use T-slot bolts and studs, and you just center it. So, pretty cool. I'll shut up. Increase the speed a little. There we go. That's 750 thousandths. All right, that should have been 750 thousandths deep. Let's test that. This says 757. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Because if I go a little deep, I'll just reface this and we'll be good. So, let's take some more cuts. Back out. Alright, I'm going to change the camera angle here. You can kind of see what I'm doing. I don't know the technical best way to do this, but this is how I do it. So, if you don't know how, this is a way you can give it a shot. Works out pretty good for me. It's simple, and I'm a simple-minded person. Can't go wrong there. Alright. I'm going to see if I can get the boring and that in the same shot. Alright, so this dial indicator I have set to where the face of the work is set to 0 on here. Okay, so this gives me an accurate, as soon as I get to 0 there, you're gonna hear it. It's right on 0. Okay, so that's the face of the part. Now, I'm going to set the automatic feed. And I'm going to run this tool in there. Okay, now, you'll hear me counting. Every time I count, that's 100 thousandths. We're going 750 thousandths in. So watch the dial. That's 1, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, and 50. And back our tool back out. Here we go. Now, let's go ahead and measure real quick, just see where we're at. Go and shut off the lathe really quick. I want you to see what's going on. Disconnect. Show you what we're dealing with. So you see that nice shoulder in there? And we've created that with our boring bar. So this is going real nice. And, you know, the first time we measured this, we said we were at about 758 thousandths, I think. Although I'm reading that we're going in about, I don't know, what did I say? 750. And now we're at 753 thousandths. So we're close. But what I'm going to do, once this is all said and done, is I'll do a final pass inside of there, and I'm going to touch off and clean up that shoulder on the inside. And I'm going to get that thing right on the nuts. And then we're going to resurface the outside here and bring this down. So we might go in 760 thousandths and then face this off, because we haven't machined this down to size yet. We've got some material to remove still. So we're doing good. We're doing good. And this guy mounted again. Hopefully you guys are learning something. And the old timers probably watching this saying, man, this guy's new. You're right. Alright. So you can go in here. Touch off on my part. We're right on 0. And let's send this thing in there. We don't have all day. You know what? I messed around and didn't count. Let's start at 0 again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're at 738 and 750. Things on out. Not bad. Looking good. The nice thing is, I mean, this is just nice, easy machining. I mean, gosh, I wish I could do this all day long. It's just real nice. 8. It'll take about 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Notice now I'm not backing the tool out. I'll shut up. All right, so here's the that side finished with the pocket and everything done. Machine to exact dimension.